Every movie in the Toy Story franchise introduces several new and very fun toys. But do you have any idea which new toys will be introduced in Toy Story 5? Smarty Pants. Woody and Buzz Lightyear are toys every kid would love to have, but there are also plenty of really weird toys throughout the films in the saga, and Pixar truly outdid itself with Smarty Pants in Toy Story 5. He's not just any little toy, but actually a talking roll of toilet paper. Seriously, that's exactly what it is. And as if that wasn't already weird enough, he's designed to teach younger kids how to use the potty. Can it get any more ridiculous than that? Funny enough, whether we like it or not, Smarty Pants perfectly represents how toys have changed over the years. Now, many of them are tools made to guide children, just like Lilyad. However, there are people who believe Smarty Pants will be much more than that. In both Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, the true villain pretended to be the good guy. In Toy Story 5, everything points to Lilyad being the villain of the story. But what if Pixar is hiding the plot twist that Smarty Pants is actually the real villain of this movie? It would be brilliant if the film revealed that, even though she's a bit annoying, Lilyad isn't evil, and that the roll of toilet paper that seemed like just comic relief is actually the true threat. We'll only find out the truth about him when the movie is released. Until then, let's talk about all the new toys that will appear in Toy Story 5. Are you ready? Because another amazing Cinewave is starting now. Lilyad. The character that has been drawing all the attention in Toy Story 5 is, without a doubt, Lilyad. Of course, because everything indicates that she will be the main villain of the film, and there's no way Lilyad could go unnoticed since she is the first antagonist who is neither a toy nor a human, but a technological device, showing that even in Toy Story, kids are starting to have more fun with screens than with toys. Even when we look at other traits, Lilyad is very different from all the other villains. She doesn't seem to hate the toys or wish them harm, because she doesn't even see them as a threat. She knows she has already won. The tablet is simply doing its job of entertaining Bonnie, and it does it very well, even though we know Bonnie will probably become addicted to Lilyad, which will be a problem. What makes Lilyad a never-before-seen threat is that she isn't just an evil character like Lotso. The problems won't end if she's destroyed. Lilyad is just one of many devices taking over the world of children's entertainment. In fact, precisely because technology is unbeatable, it's possible that the only way to deal with Lilyad is to make peace with her and help her understand that Bonnie needs both her and the toys. After all, screens can be harmful to children if used the wrong way, but they can also be very useful, using fun to help kids learn new things. If Lilyad and Jessie start working together, they'll be able to give Bonnie the best of both worlds. Knifey. Most of the new toys in Toy Story 5 are technological, representing this new era where everything has a touch of technology, but there is one character who goes in the opposite direction, Knifey Beverly, also known as Knifey. She was introduced at the very end of Toy Story 4 and will have a bigger role in this new movie. It's no surprise that the trailer begins with the wedding of Knifey and Forky. It's great to know that Knifey will have some importance, since she represents the childlike creativity that still exists in Bonnie. Just like Forky, Knifey was made by Bonnie herself, making her a handmade toy. This is the complete opposite of Lilyad and other electronic devices, which are so complex that they could never be built by a child. Now here's an interesting question. Do Knifey and Forky truly love each other? The two seem to have fallen in love at first sight at the end of Toy Story 4, and Bonnie clearly sees them as a couple, even going as far as marrying them during playtime, so everything suggests they are like Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. However, it would be at least interesting if it were revealed that Knifey and Forky realize they don't actually love each other and are just playing the role of a couple in Bonnie's games, in the same way some toys play villains even though they are nice characters. It would be a cool way to remind us that toys have their own wills. That said, Forky and Knifey do make a very cute couple, so it's understandable if you prefer them to truly be in love. So, which new toy are you most excited to see in Toy Story 5? Comment down below. Hashtag toy with your answer so we can find out. Atlas. Among the new generation of technological toys, we have Atlas, a kind of hippopotamus that also works as a GPS. In other words, Atlas helps children find their way, preventing them from getting lost. Even though he is another toy that represents this new generation that resembles electronic devices, we have to admit that he is very useful and yet another proof that technology can help instead of getting in the way. But Atlas also helps us notice another trait of this new generation of toys. Figures like Woody, Jessie, and Buzz Lightyear are simply vehicles for for children's creativity. They have their own identities, but Bonnie can pick them up and use them in any game she imagines, letting her creativity flow without limits. Meanwhile, Atlas's role is the complete opposite. He doesn't let the child follow their own path. Instead, Atlas guides children along the route he chooses because it's the best option. Atlas certainly keeps kids safe, and that's great, but at the same time, he doesn't have the same ability as classic toys to encourage Bonnie to make her own decisions. And that says more about this entire era of electronic devices than it does about Atlas himself. Snappy. Besides a talking roll of toilet paper and a GPS, Toy Story 5 will also introduce a toy camera, Snappy, and it only takes a quick glance at her to understand that this character also perfectly represents our current world, which is more digital than real. In our world, small moments are becoming less and less valued. For many people, the only way a memory has value is if it's recorded through a photo or video, which leads to people missing out on the best moments of their lives because they're too busy taking pictures or filming them. That's right, Toy Story 5 is not holding back at all when it comes to social commentary, and that's amazing. Now the question is whether Snappy will side with Jessie and the other toys, or if she will ally herself with Lilyad. One of Lilypad's dangers is that being a tablet, she can record the toys moving. A poster from the movie even suggests that she will actually do this to blackmail Jessie, Woody, and Buzz. But that's also an ability Snappy has. What if she records Lilyad as well, and uses that to stop her from exposing the footage of the toys moving? After all, if Lilyad tries to reveal the toy's secret, Snappy could reveal that electronic devices have lives of their own too. Dr. Nutcase. Some toys in Toy Story are simply tragic, from the ones modified by Sid in the first movie to characters like Gabby Gabby, who spent decades being rejected for being defective. But now, almost all regular toys are ending up in situations like this, and the perfect example of that is Dr. Nutcase. He is a wrestler with a peanut-shaped appearance, and his scene in the Toy Story 5 trailer is enough to make anyone feel sorry for him. Dr. Nutcase was found by Woody and Bo Peep stuck to a kite caught in a tree while crying. The poor guy was abandoned in a humiliating way by his former owner. The worst part? He's just one of many. In the trailer, Woody tells Jessie that he and his traveling friends find abandoned toys like Dr. Nutcase every single day, and the number is only growing. All because of electronic devices like Lilyad, because in Woody's own words, toys are made for play, but phones and tablets are made for play, and much more. In today's world, everything needs to be useful, and if it isn't, it gets thrown away. Lilyad, Atlas, Snappy, and even Smarty Pants are both toys and devices with their own functions. That's why toys made only for fun, like Dr. Nutcase and Woody's crew, are treated as if they have no value, even though that's incredibly unfair.
Subscribing to the channel is just as good as watching your favorite animations. Shall we click?
Multibuzz Army. Since the new toys in Toy Story 5 are the main focus, this is a great moment to talk about a new group of characters who are both new toys and not at the same time. We could only be talking about the Multibuzz, an army made up of several defective Buzz Lightyear models who will act as if they don't know they are toys, just like he once did. Technically, they are toys we've already seen since the first Toy Story, but they can be considered new figures because they are not the same Buzz Lightyear we know, but rather newer and updated versions. In fact, it's possible they aren't even from the United States, but from China. Nowadays, China is the world leader when it comes to producing goods and distributing them to other countries. Not to mention that it has already been confirmed that the Multibuzz will be on a plane in the movie until they end up crashing on an island by accident. What if that plane was coming from China? So yes, they very well could be from there. And here's the best part. Since the Multibuzz have just come straight out of the factories, they will most likely speak Chinese. It's already been confirmed that these toys will be funny, and that would be hilarious because of the randomness, and because the other toys won't understand a single word the Multibuzz are saying. If that turns out to be true, you can bet it's a strategy by Pixar to appeal to the Chinese audience, which, being so massive, is always taken into account by film studios when creating their projects. Zurg Army. The Multibuzz Army caught everyone's attention and was one of the first things confirmed about Toy Story 5. But what if it's not the only army in the movie? Buzz Lightyear has a terrifying arch-enemy named Zurg, at least within the fictional franchise inside Buzz's story. A toy version of Zurg appeared in Toy Story 2, and he was very funny because he had no idea he was a toy, just like Buzz in the first Toy Story, acting like a copy of Darth Vader. Now imagine an entire army of Zurgs acting as if they were real supervillains, and imagine them running into the Multibuzz Army. They would inevitably clash as if they were mortal enemies, even though they are just toys. The real mystery would be how to watch that scene without laughing so hard you lose your breath.
If you like this video, there are 2 more ready on the screen. Just click and keep watching with us. Thanks, and see you soon.